Assalamu alaikum, family. I hope everybody is feeling good today. I'm feeling good today, alhamdulillah. I want to make everybody aware of some pros and cons of isolation. Okay, I think this video is going to be a long video. I don't want it to be a really long video because I know most people's attention span is like really short, so let me get right to it. Cons. Now, mind you, I wrote this down while I was as soon as I woke up. I woke up at 2:50 in the morning, and this was the impression on my spirit. So I wrote this down. Um, anyways, um, I'm gonna start with the pros. I jotted this down. I hope I can read this. Some of the pros and cons of isolation are. Let's go with the pros. Pros. You have peace in every single area of your life. Every area of your life, you have peace. Isolation brings so much calmness and so much clarity, and just it's so funny how a lot of people in the world, they want to be around a lot of people all the time, and it just helps them to not think about what's actually going on in their lives. Um, and isolation will bring things out that's actually going on with you personally, not even with a lot of other people, but with you personally. So it brings a lot of growth if you are in your isolation for the right reasons. Um, when God calls you into isolation is what I mean. You have peace in every area of your life. You have no stress, no anxieties, no worries. Um, you don't have to worry about having to struggle to pay for gifts, to go to all these parties for either people you don't care about or people who don't care about you. One way or the other. You won't be spending money on gifts for other people, going to parties, whatever parties they may be. It may be a housewarming, maybe baby shower, maybe a graduation or something like that. You won't be spending money on those things, and not that that's a bad thing, but that's kind of what isolation does. I can't get into too much details of that because I already think this video is going to be a long one. That's one pro. The second pro is you're having a close relationship with God because God is awakening you. He's waking you up spiritually and giving you gifts. Okay? Gifts in the spirit, meaning you will know what somebody is up to before they even get up to you. You will feel that energy and that spirit, and you will know exactly how to handle them. Not like you're going to run away from them like, oh, he's about to or she's about to, and you run away from them. Not like that. You'll just know how to handle the situation because it's a gift that God gives to you because it's just you and him at this point, so he gives this to you in the spirit. Okay. You have a close relationship with God. God is awakening you spiritually and giving you gifts. God is making you wise and sharpening your discernment. You'll begin to see most people for who they are. I think I said that already. You'll be able to tell like immediately, not like you're developing a relationship with them and then like you were soon able to tell. Nope, you'll know right away, immediately. And not to say that, like I said, you don't run away from the person, but you will know how to handle them, and you'll know how to keep your distance. You'll know how to be cordial without being abrupt. These are the things that God teaches you in the spirit, and you can't really learn this from a person. The isolation, just you and God one-on-one, that is how you get these. He sharpens your discernment, and he awakens you spiritually. You'll be able to level up when you're in isolation. You'll be able to level up without anybody tearing you down or ignoring your accomplishments. A lot of times people are friends with you. Most of you guys know this. They're friends with you when you have nothing, and they love that you have nothing. You could have nothing at all, and all of a sudden you get one thing, doesn't even matter what it is, and they make sure they're ignoring that, or they're downplaying it, or making you feel like you shouldn't have gotten it and you should have waited till a later date. Like they will just rip you to and from. It's so awful. But when you're in isolation, it's just you and God. He allows them to ignore you, and you can celebrate and be grateful to God, just with yourself. And that's sufficient. That's God's sufficient for all of us, and that feels good enough. It does feel nice to be able to tell family and friends what you have and your accomplishments and share good things with them, but you will find a lot of times they are not really here for you. Even the ones that are pretending, it will come out in some way or another that they're not really here for you, and they don't want you to level up in any kind of way. It's awful, but it happens in a lot of families. Another pro of isolation being isolated with God, not isolation from going to school and going to work and not being around people at all. That's extreme, and that's not what I'm talking about. Um, when God is allowing everything and everyone to turn their back on you, and then now it's just you and Him, and oh my gosh, so sweet. Um, God is teaching you. This is a pro. God is teaching you how to pour into other people, to bring people closer to Him, to allow them to worship Him in spirit and in truth. God is pouring into you, okay? Um, let's see. Because He wants you to bring more of His creation. He's using you and other people, of course, to bring people closer to God, okay? And that's really not an easy task. That's what they call the chosen ones. That's like I already said in another video, anybody bragging and saying that they're a chosen one, for real, chosen people do not talk like that, because it's not an easy task at all. It's not easy at day, at night. It's not easy. It's a task that you're willing to take on because you're willing to be hired on to do this job for God, because you know the pay is so sweet, and you know this is what you're here for, to worship the Creator, and He takes care of you through that, okay? So God is teaching you how to pour into other people and bring people closer to Him in the spirit. So you'll acknowledge His oneness without associating any partners. Remember, God is the Creator. He's created everything and everyone. Okay, all of the planets, the heavens, the earth, the unseen beings, the human beings, everything. Um, with all of the tests and trial going on, people will say awful lies about you. This is what happens in isolation. People will make up the worst things about you. And what feels bad is that people are so empty that they will be willing to go along with that because it agrees with the dirty spirit inside of them to say something so awful about someone. They don't know you to be that way, but they would just take it on. Oh, her family said this, or her friend said this, or someone she knows actually said this, so this is what it is. Like, people, you wonder why people get attached to animals and not other people. That's one of the reasons, because they know so many people are dirty in the spirit. There are a lot of good people, of course, but there are way too many people who is just willing to allow demons to use their bodies to try and bring somebody else's world down. With all of the tests and trials going on, people will say awful lies about you. You will not, but you know what? But you won't be hurt or angry. In fact, God tells you that you may have to help them at some point. So that kind of isolation, that's healing. That is healthy, and that is healing, isolation. Because although people may be saying and doing dirty things against you, you're not going to be angry about it. It doesn't matter. It could be your sister, your brother, your pet frog. You won't be angry about it. God brings you that peace and understanding that just surpasses anything that the world could give you. God also, this is another con, God is protecting you from all of the evils and harms. He's canceling all of the evil plans that have been made against you. God can, He cancels all of the evils and plans that have been made against you in the spiritual realm and in the earthly realm. He's protecting you from things you know about and things that you have absolutely no idea about. He's moving things out of your way and moving people out of your way. And that doesn't always come with an understanding, but you accept it. And yeah, you move on from there. It's not like a huge deal. Like I've already said in other videos, I am not upset with anyone. If anybody's upset with me, I hope they're not. I hope nobody is upset with me. But yeah, be that peace that He gives you, that everything is going to be okay. You will come together with whoever you are going to come again together with in the future, and you will not be upset at any efforts that somebody tried to, or evil plans that somebody tried to have against you. He removes all fatalities and calamities out of your way that won't touch you. And that's that isolation, that one-on-one with God, where some people are like, oh, it's lonely, I think I can understand when somebody says that it's lonely. I don't really feel lonely. I enjoy being in isolation. And when I say that, I work. I'm around people all the time. Sometimes I try to avoid like play dates and stuff like that, just because I don't feel like sitting there and having empty conversations. When I say empty, I mean like conversations of the world that seem so vibrant to like people of the world, but that's a whole nother video. I think that's it for, okay, let me start on the cons. Okay, one con, there are so many pros and cons, I could never make a video to cover all of it. First of all, I don't know all of it, but yeah, I could never make a video to to cover so many of them. I don't even remember all of them. And I don't know all of them. Anyway, here's some cons. Because you are absent in people's lives, they will make up horrible lies about you. Did I say that already? But you won't mind. It won't be able to touch you. These things won't be able to. This is just distractions. That's really what it is. It's just distractions. Are you going to get caught up on that or not? It's really just distractions. Um, Another con is conversations that are going on around you are so empty and pointless, but you don't say a lot because you understand that most people just don't know because you were once there in those toxic, pointless conversations. They're actually kind of draining once God calls you to sit with Him, and so He can pour into you, so that you can pour into other people. You know what's funny? There's in isolation, there's really nobody to pour into you, and that's the fleshly desire that sometimes comes over me. But when God is pouring into you, you don't really need other people to pour into you. And then when He wants to use somebody to pour into you, He will, and it will be at the least time you expect it, and usually coming from somebody that you don't know. Um, you've been called out of the world. Um, you're in the world, but you're not really of the world. You're not doing a lot of worldly things. That's what that means. You've been called out of the world, but you're not really fitting in areas. You may be in a social circle, but you feel so alone. You're just by yourself because none of those things apply to your life. A lot of situations, people don't even realize they get themselves in by putting themselves in certain circles. They don't even realize that they're just trying to comply with whatever the world is doing so that they look normal, they look average, they look like everyone else. They're not a weirdo, this. They're actually causing themselves those kind of toxic, harmful things because they're trying to fit in. So, okay, another con is a lot of spiritual and physical attacks happen, and they're constant. They're constant. Now, they're not always huge, but you can grow really tired of the attacks. A lot of attacks always happen. It's like that's how you know the devil is relentless in his efforts. Like he doesn't stop. And you can't take a break because he doesn't take a break. He has a job to do, and God has a job for you to do. So it gets really. I get tired of it. I do. The spiritual attacks. I almost feel like I'm able to handle those better than the physical attacks. Like distractions. When I say attacks, sometimes those attacks come as just distractions. I'll give you an example. I didn't even make a story time about this because I feel like it wasn't worth it. um, I pull up to the store. I get out of the car, and there's a man in his truck. He's backing out of the space because he's leaving from the store. So we're in the parking lot. So he's leaving out. I'm about to go in the store. He backs his truck up into my car and hits my car. He didn't get out. Because he was backing up. He didn't get out. I was already out of the car, and I just waited for him because I saw him backing out. I wasn't gonna walk behind his truck and I see him backing out. So I'm almost near his window, so I just take a couple of steps and I look in his window and I say, "Are you okay?" And he responds with, "We're warrant out for my arrest." So I asked him again. I said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm sure you know you just hit my car, right?" So he's like, "Yeah, I know." Okay, so I said, "Are you gonna get out and look? There's some damage at the front of my car." He says again that he has a warrant out for his arrest. Okay, so I said, "It doesn't look like anything that's too the damage doesn't look like it's too extensive. I'll take care of it. Just to enjoy the rest of the day." And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to." And I'm just like, there's no empathy, there's no apology, there's no nothing. Just the type of person you just don't even want to handle. So I just let it go. So then I find out, so I call my insurance, they fix it for free. So those are distractions. So when I say spiritual attacks, a lot of times they happen sometimes when you're sleeping, and sometimes uh, it could happen at work where a person just tries to give you a hard time, and people are making up things about you at work, just trying to like make you feel uncomfortable or destroy your day. Those kind of attacks where demons come, like really, they will use people, especially people that are not fully submitted to God. They will use them to try and like distract you or bring you down in your day. And then there's the physical attacks where things are happening to either your house or your car or just something. Even family members, like things are happening to your family members that you don't want to happen to your family members, but those are distractions and attacks. Okay, that was long enough. I really don't want this video to be an hour long. I'm gonna get with it, guys. Come on. Um, let's see. Oh, and with these things happening, God's so sweet. Like with these attacks happening, God never allows you to become paranoid. You never become paranoid with these things. Where I feel like if you were not one-on-one isolated with God, you could become paranoid. Like, oh my God, what's going on? I have to look out for this. I'm not going to park over there. I'm not going to. He never allows that to happen. You don't get like paranoid and things like that. You'll just know that this time is gonna pass. Like it's okay, and you move on through your day, and then God settles it in such a beautiful way, and it's always in a way that you can never imagine. Our limited minds absolutely cannot imagine the way God takes care of things. Okay. Um, let's see. Another con is every once in a while you'll have the desire to be connected or be connected to people or be around people that you've known. Every once in a while you're going to have this desire can come up. Although you do enjoy being by yourself, this desire sometimes pops up around holidays where you want to enjoy being around family or friends during holidays. This rarely comes up in me, but sometimes it does. It does not that often. When my journey, earlier in my journey, it would happen like, oh man, it's the holidays. Like, I know everybody's off. I know everybody's gathering. I would like to be there, but God tells you not yet. Not like you're mad at anyone. Not that you think anyone's mad at you, but God always tells you not yet. Not yet. Not yet. And when you pray to God, like, should I do this or do that? And when He answers you not yet, just knows His timing is perfect timing. And when the time is right, he'll do it for you. So I think that was it. No, wait. Okay, another con of isolation is God is telling you to do something, and you're doing it, but it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like nothing is happening at all, and this could go on for a really long time. It could go on for like years. And then confusion starts to set in because you know God is telling you to do this thing, but you don't see anything flourishing from it. It's kind of like watering something that you planted, and for years you see absolutely nothing happening. Like, I know you're telling me to do this, I see no growth. So um, that's another thing that feels like it's a con. It feels like it's a con, but it's really not a con. Maybe I shouldn't have labeled it as a con, but it feels like that when God is telling you to do something, but you see absolutely no growth from it at all. Um, and like I said, this could go on for a long time, and everything in your life is not matching up with what you're doing. It's like your house is on fire, but you're sitting on the side of the road watching it, and you are eating a salad. Like, no. So yeah, nothing is matching up. He's telling you to eat the salad, but your entire house is on fire, and you're like, I should probably be getting a hose, calling the fire department. Like, I should be doing something else. But he's like, no, sit still. I got this. Go over there and you enjoy this. But you're like, my paperwork's in there, like everything is in there, and your house is burning down. But he's telling you, not yet. I got this. Sit down, chill. That's what he's telling you. And he's like, you need to work on this. And of course, he blesses us by the work of our hands, but it's always something entirely different from what we perceive, what our reality perceives it to be. Is always something completely the opposite. So he needs you to be in isolation, because if you were around people, they'd be like, what is he doing, what is she doing, why this, why that? And sometimes even you could feel that way, even myself. Like, okay, I'm doing this, but this is going on. But God is letting you know, this is a distraction, don't look at it, I got this. And you have to, it teaches you patience, it teaches you discipline. Discipline and patience go hand in hand, I think. So yeah, he's teaching you, be calm. I got this. I do not care. God doesn't care what it looks like to you. He knows exactly what he's doing. We don't know what he's doing. We're in our flesh a lot of the times. We don't know what he's doing. This is why we're always asking for forgiveness and guidance, right? We have no idea what we're doing. He knows what he's doing, and it's always something that looks so incredibly the opposite of what we perceive our reality to be. And it's always like that. I mean, it feels like that a lot. So if you're in your season of isolation and you're angry about it, you're not being healed. You're becoming bitter. If you're in your season of isolation and you are angry about it or upset with other people for doing this or saying this about you, you're not being healed. You're becoming bitter. I want somebody to take that in. If you're in your season of isolation and you're growing and you feel high off of the light of God, the energy and the light of God, just God. People, please stop adding all these other things to God, and you don't need to go like to add these things to say that you need to get to him this way. God hears you wherever you are. It doesn't matter what language you're speaking, he understands all of it. So, and when you do pray to God, you need to be looking out for his answers, because most of the time he answers us, but we forgot about what we prayed for, and we don't pick up on it, so you can lose the blessing that way really quickly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If you are in your season of isolation and you're growing and it's making you feel off of the light of God, and you're benefiting from this isolation, God's going to bring you out shining. You'll be on new levels spiritually in ways that you could have never imagined, in ways that you could have never done yourself. This is the work of God, okay? So with that being said, this video is long enough. I hope everybody who is listening and watching this video will benefit a lot from this. If you're in a season of isolation, sit with God, talk with him. He's going to be there for you, and being there for you may mean he is restricting you from some things. He's taking some things from you, and with the work of your hands, he's not allowing certain things to go through, because he knows exactly what he's doing. If he's taking people and things from you, sit still. He knows exactly what he's doing. And when I say sit still, that doesn't mean you're going to be comfortable. You'll be uncomfortable, because that's the thing that will draw you into him. It's going to be the thing. Some people, they can lose a child. A child could pass away, and they will completely turn from God. Like, how could you do this? I understand how a person could feel like that. I've not experienced that myself, but I can understand how somebody could say that from having such a tremendous loss. Really, God wants to draw you in closer to him, because he has a plan for you. He has a plan for you, and yeah, I'm not going to make this video any longer. He has a plan for you. It's not going to process. It's never comfortable. But when he brings you out of it, when he shows up and shows out in your life, and he brings you out shining, and you have a story that you could share with the world, with people who have gone through or who are going through what you have experienced, you'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. All the praise and glory is for God. We worship God and not his creation. Anything that he's created, you're going to know you shouldn't be worshiping it, okay? Think about that. I hope this video is of benefit to a lot of people, many people, actually everybody who watches this video. If you learned anything from this video, please give this video a thumbs up, even if you're not subscribed. Also, I wanted to say, I recently had a dream. I recently had a dream that people are going to start getting in my comments and making very mean, awful comments, and start attacking me. A lot of times this happens if you try to bring people to the truth. If I continue with just story times, just frivolous like story times that really don't mean anything, I think that I really wouldn't get mean or harsh comments. But if you start speaking the truth and you start guiding people towards God and worshiping God and his oneness, there will be a lot of attacks through the internet. So I think I'm ready to take it on. I don't know. Do y'all think I'm ready to take it on? Doesn't matter what other people think. God told me. So enjoy the rest of the day. Inshallah, we'll make another video. Maybe not today. I think I have something to do. So take care. Assalamu alaikum.